there's also this obsession with monitoring and controlling children as well that's happening now, and certainly within the schools. The Home Office is now asking teachers to report sexist comments by teenage boys to prevent. Prevent is a terrorist. And they're saying they believe sexism to be on a par with Islamic extremism. Yeah. And examples of what they're talking about is a boy at school saying, a woman's place is in the kitchen. Yeah. So the ludicrous situation where a young lad says, oh, women belong in the kitchen or whatever, then being reported to prevent.
And if he believes that, then that's his right to believe that.
Yeah.
There's many cultures who believe that. Now, they're doing this for two reasons, not for the reason we think they're doing it for. I don't think they think one moment that these people will lead to being incel terrorists. They're doing it, because it's a woke cause, or it's all about misogyny. Oh, misogyny. There is no such thing as misogyny in the world. In my book, not the book now, but the book before, there's so many social science studies looking for misogyny in men and can't find it. And the reason why they can't find it is because men put women ahead of other men. Women put women ahead of men, but men put women ahead of men. So men don't hate women. Some men will mistreat women, but that's not misogyny. Misogyny is a hatred of all women. So the Labour Party's had a policy on this now for ages. So this looks like they're doing something. But I think the main reason why they're doing this is a great way to start referring white boys into prevent, because we're referring far too many brown boys into prevent. We need more white people.
We need to get our numbers up.
Otherwise we look like we're Islamophobic and racist. Yeah. So just do something where we can start referring white people into prevent, and I think this is it. I don't think any of those cases will be picked up, but they'll all be recorded. So over the next couple of years they can start reporting, prevent now, referrals to prevent is only 55% brown Islamic kids, but 45% white and black kids. So we're not doing so bad now, where at the moment it's something like 85% brown Islamic kids.
So it's another case of EDI basically.
Yes.
Equality, diversity, inclusion. Yeah. We need to make sure we have more white boys called criminals, just so we don't appear to be racist now.
Spot on.
Well, that's just shocking, isn't it?
Yeah.
That's the case. Because actually...
But the only people who are treated negatively through this are white boys, so who cares?
Well, I think that this is the point, isn't it? White middle-aged men and now white young working class men are treated abysmally in this country now. They're treated the worst out of everybody. They're given the worst opportunity. We know that the quality of further education for white working class boys is far lower than any other ethnic minority.
And it has been for decades.
Yes, and it's this constant, and this is again the frustration for me. This is happening. White working class people are seeing this, but nobody's hearing them. Nobody's hearing their voice, are they?
No, because they don't have the communication skills. They don't have the right skills to allow themselves to express how they feel, because some of them turn violent, in which case it's easy to dismiss. And then once you've had violence, the people who are not violent go on, I'm not being associated with that. And we've also had 50, 60, 70 years of white people in this country being told, if you say anything, you're a racist.
Yeah.
And racist, not up to now, but up to a few years ago this was true. Racist is the worst thing you could be called in this country. It's worse than being called a pedo.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And this oppression now, but the question I was thinking about this kind of censorship to our young people, our creative people, what does it do to them? Because if you're not allowed to express yourself, even in school now, and because I was thinking, I'm a big fan of Joe Orton, the playwright. I don't know if you know him, but he was creative and cheeky, and he did things like going into the library and writing on the inside of, doing his drawings. With these people, by their very nature, they are outrageous. They say outrageous things. They do outrageous things, and they often become our most creative and talented people. What happens to them? What happens to creativity and talent in this country? We've got a situation where now you can't express your opinions. And I have a friend who made a comment about a so-called trans kid and he was hauled up before the headmaster because he said, "Is it a boy or a girl, or is it, you know, what, are you a boy or a girl?" Something totally innocent and whatever. Hauled up before the headmaster. So now and he's a bright kid. These bright kids have no outlet now to say things they're thinking. So the things they would say, probably outrageous things, interesting, different things. You know what I mean, Nick?
Yeah.
Because that's how these people arrive on our doorsteps in terms of creativity.
Yeah.
They are different, aren't they? They say different things. That's being stamped out now.
You have to do is look at comedy over the last 10 years.
Yeah.
Look at the arts over the last 10 years. Look at plays. Look at films.
Yeah.
All the creative people are either not in it or are too scared to be creative. So we're producing crap all the time.
Yeah.
That's what happens when we put a lid on these people. But another way of looking at it is people with these views, people with views you don't like, just because you don't like it and you can force them to be quiet, those views don't go away. They pop up somewhere else in a more nasty, violent, underhanded way. So if somebody is, let's say someone is a racist, well, let them speak. Then we all know they're a racist.
Yeah.
But telling them not to speak, they then go underground. And they'll meet other people who've been told you can't speak. And some of them won't be racist, but they've got an affinity with that person now because, we've all been told to shut up. And that does us, and then what are they going to do? Then become a terrorist organisation. And this is all just far-fetched, I know that. But people need the right to express themselves.
Yeah.
And given the benefit that they will express themselves many times in the wrong way, using clumsy language, using the wrong phrases, being offensive. But that's how they express themselves, and we need them to express themselves. If they don't do it verbally, they'll express themselves in another way.
And I want to hear people expressing themselves. I don't, you know my views on the hate laws, I think they should be abolished.
Yep.
I think people should be free to say racist things or whatever.
Yep, I think they should, yeah.
And I think society will control that. Because I think society has controlled it for a long time. And somebody who goes too far or says things that society will control that.
But not now, because we've lived in a socialist state now for 50, 60, 70 years.
Yeah.
That's why we don't control anything now, because the state will do it. It's not my job. The police should deal with that. The council should deal with that. Did you enjoy that video? I think you did. Come on now, hit that bell, subscribe, comment. Let's build this channel. I need more followers. I need more subscribers. Be part of the journey. See you soon.